guys, it's Kay. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. You may be wondering why I'm standing in front of my bookcase. Well, today we're gonna talk about books. Are they clutter? Should you keep them? How many should you keep? Which one should you give away? Which one should you keep? All that and more, we're gonna talk about it coming up. Before we get started, if you want to learn more about how to keep your home clean, organized, and functional, and want to have some fun while you're at it, please subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Just press that red subscribe button down there. It's somewhere down below. Just go ahead and press it, and make sure to press the bell to get notifications so you don't miss a single upload. In 2018, we've got all kinds of digital devices at our fingertips. We've got phones, laptops, little tablets, and e-readers, all kinds of things at our fingertips to make our lives easier, faster, and make communication a lot easier. In the early 2000s, when ebooks were really taking off and Kindle sales were going crazy, I remember the sort of mindset that everyone is just gonna get rid of books, and everyone was just gonna have all of their books on their Kindle or whatever device they were using to read. Many bookstore chains had to close their doors as people were buying fewer physical books, paper books, and buying more ebooks and reading them on their devices. However, I have noticed in the last few years especially, paper books have had a resurgence, and people are buying fewer ebooks and reading them on devices and actually buying more paper books and reading those. In a really cool meeting of old media and new media, there is even a segment of YouTube that is dedicated to books and book reviews called BookTube, and YouTubers talk about books. It's a really great community. Studies shows that reading paper books as opposed to reading off e-readers or tablets can be better for your health, especially before bed. If you read that paper right before bed, it can help relax you, good 30 minutes, wind down, and it takes away some of that screen time that's preventing you from getting good sleep. But what if you've collected too many books in your library and you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do? Well, I'm gonna give you a few tips about how to cull your library and keep it less overwhelming so that you can spend some time enjoying the books you like and less time just sort of freaking out about it. When you're going through the books, make sure to keep only the ones you think you're going to reread eventually. I know that it's very tempting to keep the book that you sort of wanted to read and you were in the middle of reading and didn't really enjoy. If you've given up on a book, especially if you've given up on it more than once, it might be time just to call it quits and let it go. It's okay to keep some books just for sentimental reasons, even if you don't go and reread them, but don't let that number, give yourself a limit to how many books that's going to be. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, depending on how big your space is. But just give yourself a limit on just the sentimental books that you're really not gonna open ever again. If there's books you're not sure about, it's totally okay to put them in what I call item purgatory, which means you take some books, you box them up, you put them someplace you really don't have access to them or don't want to grab them every day, and you give yourself an allotted amount of time. Could be 30 days, could be 2 weeks, could be 2 months. Just pick an amount of time that you think is going to work for you. If you feel like in that amount of time that you didn't miss the books, or you didn't need to grab at them, or you don't miss them, then that's a sign for it's okay for them to go. Another thing to help reduce book clutter is to reduce multiple copies of the same book. Sometimes maybe you went out and bought the paperback of a book and then bought the hard copy of the book maybe at another point in your life. You don't really have a reason to have both of those books. So decide on which one you want to keep, decide on which one looks better to you and feels better to you, and let the other one go. Feel free to let go of the books that are irrelevant or the information maybe is out of date. This is really important, especially if you are looking for the books for education, like their science books or their history books, and maybe some of the information is not good anymore or just inaccurate or out of date. You can let those books go too. And lastly, let go of books you will never, ever read, no matter how much time goes by. We all have those books. You bought them, they looked great on the shelf, you read the back, you're like, oh, this sounds like a great story. Maybe 90 days went by, maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe 5, and the book is still there, very sad and unopened. Go ahead and let that book fly away to someone else who will read it and perhaps enjoy it. And when you're decluttering your books, you want to ask yourself, pretty much with every book, why am I keeping this book? Either it makes me super happy and I love having it in my space, It is a very sentimental, very special book that, you know, my grandmother gave me or whatever. I love this book and I reread it several times, or I need this book as reference. Now I might read it someday, not, ooh, someone gave it to me and I feel bad getting rid of it, and not, this is by a very respected author and having it makes me feel very smart. Have confidence that you're smart. You don't need books to tell people that you're smart. So I'm gonna practice what I preach, and I'm gonna go in and let go of some of the books in my collection. Okay, so this is pretty much my side of the bookshelf. So these are all my books. The bottom two shelves here are music scores. That's fine. That's my music library. I don't really need to purge from that area right now. But the books, I think I could let go of some of these guys, and I want to take you through my journey today. So as you can see, I don't have that many books, but I think there are definitely a few that can go. So I'd love to start on the top row here. This is where I don't have my books categorized by genre or anything like that. I really mainly have them categorized by color because it's kind of pretty. So I'm going to be getting rid of a few of these. Okay, so I'm gonna go through my collection here and see what I've got here. And I am looking, let's see. Okay, let's get rid of this one, this one, this one, this one. I think that's good for now. So I've got this many books that I'm getting rid of. So the Harvard Concise Dictionary of Music, I don't need this anymore. If I need information about, you know, items, I'll just go to the internet for this. I won't ever open this book again. Again, same with this History of Music, the Barnes and Noble outline. I don't think this is even a textbook. I don't even know why I have this, but it's gotta go because I've never read it and I don't need it. The Rules of Attraction by Bret Easton Ellis. I'm sure it's a great book. I have tried to read this several times and I'm never able to get through it, so I guess I'm just gonna let it go. The Career Guide for Creative and Unconventional People. I enjoyed this book, but I haven't opened this in years, so I think I've got a handle on it and I'm gonna let it go. This is a hard one for me because it's a little bit sentimental, but the Organic Chem Lab Survival Manual. I took organic chemistry as a post-baccalaureate person, which means I was like 30 when I took the class and I had already had, you know, other degrees. It was part of like a pre-med program, and I loved organic chemistry. I loved it. I had so much fun. Is that a weird thing to say that you loved organic chemistry? I thought it was so much fun because there was no math. That's the greatest thing about it, is there was no math. You just draw pictures, structures, and like move electrons around, and it was like the greatest. But I'm never gonna read this again. I am gonna keep my oh, it's down there, my organic chemistry textbook, because I usually do, and this is so embarrassing, I actually do look at it from time to time because I want to like remember some of the stuff. I'm thinking about going back and taking the class again, so I'm gonna keep the book, and it's probably outdated, but I'm gonna keep it anyway because it's a few years old. But I do go back and look at it, but I don't look at the lab survival manual. And like side note, the labs were terrible. I hated organic chemistry lab. It's like hours and hours of sitting there cooking stuff. Not a fan, but I liked the class. This area over here is where I have some cookbooks. I have culled this collection a bunch of different times, and this is pretty much all I have left. I'm okay with having this many, and I do use cookbooks, so that is staying the way that it is. And here is the manga. People have noticed in a few videos that I am definitely like a manga like nerd. I love anime and I love Japanese comics. So I have a collection of a few that I like to read that are my favorite. I have the first 3 volumes of Negima. I have the complete collection of Full Moon. I have the complete collection of Fruits Basket. I have one edition, or one book, what do you call it? I don't know. I have one of Dragon Head, one of Skip Beat, and one of Honey and Clover, and 2 editions of Cardcaptor Sakura. So I love all of these, and I plan to reread them again, especially tonight. I'm gonna like reread Fruits Basket. I'm actually very excited. But I am definitely never going to finish or read Skip Beat. Not that this was a bad manga. Oh, what's in here? Interesting. This is a card from Opera Providence from when I was in a production of Treemonisha. Wow. But other than that, Skip Beat, I saw some episodes of the anime. It's pretty cute. I didn't finish it, which tells you something about how much I loved it, really. I mean, it's very cute. It's a very cute story, but I think that I'm gonna let this one go because clearly I only have the first volume. That's the word I was looking for earlier, the first volume, and I didn't pick up any of the subsequent volumes, so I'm gonna let someone else enjoy this. This row is gonna be probably the most difficult because these books are at my level now because now I'm standing on the floor and I love these books the most. But I definitely can let go of a couple of these. So the first book I wanna grab is this book by Jennifer Ford Berry, Organize Now. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Actually, I've spoken to Jennifer a couple of times. She's a great professional organizer. She's an awesome person. I will like link her channel down below as well. But a client actually gave me this book just, you know, for fun. And I have read it a little bit, but I think someone else will really, really love this. The second one I'm gonna let go is another one from the same sort of situation. It's Eliminate Chaos. As an organizer, I do like to reference other books on organizing, but I have not gone through and looked at this book in a long time. Another book I can see here that I don't ever refer to anymore is Good Nights. This is a book I bought, I think, you know what, I feel like I bought this from Origins when they were like selling books. Is that a thing? Did I just lie? I'm not sure, but I bought this because I was having trouble sleeping, and it's very helpful. But I don't have trouble sleeping anymore. I just sleep. I do wake up in the middle of the night, but I don't have trouble falling asleep. So I haven't read this in years, and I'm just keeping it for sentimental purposes, but I'm not that attached to it, so I'm gonna let this one go. The Japanese English Dictionary, I bought it because I wanted to learn Japanese, but truthfully, I don't have that kind of time. I would like to. I actually like have Duolingo like ready to go, but I don't have that kind of time. So if I need this again, I will find a Japanese English dictionary, but right now it's just taking up space and it's annoying. So goodbye. The Norton Grove Concise Encyclopedia of Music. I legit don't even think this was a textbook. I think I just found it at like a secondhand bookstore. And again, if I need to find out these things, I would happily Google. I really don't need this. This seems like a dictionary to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. Okay, here's 2 more that I'm gonna just let go of. So, The Modern Conductor. I only needed this, I have this book because I was required to take a conducting class in college. Have I opened it yet? Since? No. But I mean, I have it. It makes me feel smart, but that's not a reason to keep a book, so it's gotta go. The World of Pooh. I am having a hard time sort of with this book. I do like it. I think it's great. Will I read the Pooh story again? Probably not. So as pretty as this book is and as much as it brings me joy, I probably am going to go ahead and let it go because I never ever reference it. So it's got to go. So the rest of these books here, I either go and touch periodically or they're very sentimental to me. I have a couple of very sentimental books that I keep, and they are my old copy of The Mass in B Minor by J.S. Bach, and a couple of my old music history books from college. So I really, in a perfect world, I would let go of these, couple of textbooks from my college experience, but I loved music history and I had a really great time in music history. And I just want to keep 3 of these books just for no reason It's totally okay. The rest of these books I do reference or I do reread, including the dumb organic chemistry books and like this guy too. This is a coloring book, Effortless Mastery. I've read a bunch of times. It's great. The diction book, I actually do, I reference that very, a lot. You know what though? Probably gonna let go of the Bernard singing mechanism and the technique spelled a really interesting way. Look at that. So this is a book about the technique of singing, and I do believe this information is outdated. I mean, 1967. Can we look at that? So there's way more science about this right now. So I don't want to. I haven't read this in years and years, and I'm not going to refer back to it. So Bernard, I'm sorry, you've been good to me and I really appreciated you, but you've got to go. So here's what's left. So the rest of the stuff is pretty good. Don't hate on my Zelda books, you guys. Don't hate on my Zelda books.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain, the best upper sets do it. Lithuanians, and let's do it. Let's do it. Let's.
So here's my donate pile. I will be donating these to my local library. And here is the new pared down book collection. And now I want to hear from you guys. How is your book collection looking? Is it large? Is it small? Do you feel like you have too many books? Do you feel like you have just enough? Do you feel like you could buy more books and you need more for your collection? Let me know in a comment down below. And what book is your favorite? Especially I want to know that. And like, give me something really good to read, because I feel like I'm going to need a good book to read over the next couple of months. It's summer coming up. So let me know in a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.